Welcome to Here's How We Get There. It's the daily show filled with conversations about business and mental health in a down-to-earth style with real-world language. Now let's dive in with your co-hosts, Kenneth Shark Kinney and Trey Tucker.
All right, Trey, we often talk about mental health with what your work is as a licensed therapist. But a guy that I've remembered for years, and I've even seen tons of videos. I knew this when I was doing some stand-up comedy, like ancient times ago. But Richard Lewis is a famous comedic actor. I think he died. He was 76, and he was a famous stand-up comedian. He was ranked as one of the greatest stand-ups of all time. In the 80s, he became pretty popular with his sort of dark, neurotic, self-deprecating humor. But he also was in a show with Jamie Lee Curtis forever ago, and he was also Prince John and Robin Hood and Men in Tights. A lot of the more recent people remember him from Curb Your Enthusiasm, but he battled a lot of things with his anxiety and depression. He talked about it a lot in his comedy routines. He said he also suffered an eating disorder due to body dysmorphia. Very famous, though, about talking about anxiety and depression and making fun of himself. He also was a recovering alcoholic and drug addict. He had been a user of cocaine and alcohol and crystal meth, but he died of a heart attack. Now, most people know that he was a famous comedian. In your viewpoint as a therapist, is it okay to be that self-deprecating about your anxiety and depression as a way to deal with it?
Man. Okay, you're putting me on the spot here. And yeah, I've thought about this. I've actually had people ask this. It is okay depending on your intent. If you're using it to open the door to a further conversation, whether it involves you or not, if you're just maybe in an interview with somebody that you hope the viewers will then have a conversation with somebody in their life about it, that's great. If you're using it as a way to kind of lightly broach on an awkward topic to keep moving further into it, then yeah. But it could also be a deflection, which is a defense mechanism where I'm going to joke about it, but that's my shield where you aren't getting past the joke. So I like it because somebody is at least being vulnerable enough to mention a struggle. And then I would wonder, okay, are they trying to go further or are they trying to just deflect and go to some other topic?
Yeah, for him, it was also a way to make a lot of money because he was a really funny actor in stand-up. I mean, his whole bit, if you ever seen him, just look up some of his old stuff on YouTube. I think Comedy Central ranked him like 40th, 45th, something like that. It was in the top 100 comics of all time several years ago, but his whole thing was built around his neuroses and his anxiety and his depression. And I thought about it as well. There's so many comedians that have a much darker sense about them. I know I have over time, and I think for a lot of people that did it extremely well, the Robin Williams, you see where all these things come up in their life, and it really eats at them in a way. Luckily, he lived a pretty decent life, but it was a tough life. And if somebody needs help, just make sure they seek help from someone that's a professional. Talk to Trey, not me.
Thank you for joining Shark and Trey on the Here's How We Get There show. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show and visit here'showwegetthere.com. That's here'showwegetthere.com.